What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My friends over at Enhance Auto were kind enough to send me their new sexy knob for the updated Model 3. And this can do so many different things. If you've seen my sexy buttons video, those can be programmed to all different functions that the Model 3 and all other Tesla models can do. But this knob really takes it up a notch and adds some of that tactile control that you lose by just having a single screen in the center of the vehicle. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. We'll talk about the features that it has, how to install it, and then take a look at some of the settings that I've got going on my Model 3. Now the sexy knob here costs $380. You can use my code Metz Tech for 10% off, but the feel of this knob matches that price tag, and so does the packaging. Really nice premium box here. It's got kind of a folding design to it as it opens up, which is really premium feeling. And then inside, I've already taken it out, so it's packaging a little bit messed up. But you've got your Gen 2 commander here, which if you don't already have the sexy buttons, you'll need a commander to get this all paired up. So they give you one in the box, and then you also have the knob underneath here. Now, I already have a commander installed, so I don't need that. But if you take this foam piece off, you can see the knob in here just like that. It has a very similar color scheme to what is already in the updated Model 3, so it blends right in. And you can see that we've got the actual physical knob itself and then 4 tactile buttons. And then on the back, you've got 2 USB-C ports. One of them plugs into your car, and then one of them is an extra USB-C port that they added to this version. You actually gain a USB-C port because the updated Model 3 has a 12-volt outlet in the front of the center console and only has one USB-C port, which is in the armrest. So you gain an extra one here by using this, which is great. And again, this is a seamless installation process, which we'll do in just a second. The only other things inside the box are a little piece of rubber in case it's not fitting correctly. You've got your 12-volt to USB-C to USB-C adapter here to power it. And then you've got a couple other cords that you'll need if you're going to be installing the commander. I've actually done this in a previous video. If you want to watch that, I'll have the video linked below. And then you do have a little plastic pry tool that you'll need if you are installing the commander. But let's go ahead and go out to my car and get this thing installed. All right, so the first step of this super complex installation process, you want to take your Enhance Auto branded 12-volt outlet adapter here, plug this in, but it's easier if you actually plug the USB-C port in first. And then we're just going to plug it in down here. And then you just want to take the other end of the right angle USB-C here and plug it in to the USB-C port that has the car and the arrow pointing to it. The other one, like I mentioned, is your extra one that you have now. So we'll go ahead and plug that in there. And then it's going to power right up. It will vibrate for you. And there we go, sexy knob. And then all you got to do after that is you got to put it in at an angle. So you want to like start at about that angle there, as far back as you can get it, and then you just kind of have to twist it in. And it feels like you're gonna break it, but you're not. Just keep twisting, keep putting pressure on it, twisting until it pops into place like that. And it is now fitted inside of the grooves of your normal kind of center console cover here. And then you just wanna slide it back until you hit some resistance, which is about here. And then you can grab it on both sides like this and just pop it back into place until it fits snug like that, and then it's not going anywhere. It's nice and secure. Then you can close this right up. Beautiful. Close your cup holders up. Beautiful. And look at that seamless integration there. Looks like it was made for the car. Absolutely killer design. Obviously mine is already connected, but if yours isn't, you can go down to knob here, and then you can pair the knob to the commander once you have that installed. Again, if you need help installing the commander, see my previous video. I'll have it linked in the description. But once it is connected, you can tap on knob here, and then it's going to give you access to all of the different functions, and you can completely customize them. You can choose how many pages you want. You know, if you want to be able to scroll through a bunch of different functions, you can. If you only want there to be 3 pages, 2 pages, whatever the case may be, you can do that too. But you can swipe to these different pages and then select the different functions that you then want to customize. Really cool. You can go down here to brightness. You can turn that on for the screen itself, and then you can do auto brightness offset for if it's dark or light. You can turn off the display and the ambient lighting there if you want it to just go off by itself. And then this is a nice customization bit here, this haptic feedback area. The vibration motors in this are very strong. So if we go ahead and put it back to normal and we twist, I'm sure you can hear that. it is a very strong vibration and it makes the whole thing kind of vibrate. So I like to turn it down to gentle, but you could also turn it to off. And then when you twist it, just no sounds at all, no vibrations at all. But I think gentle kind of gives you still some of that feedback so you can do it without looking, but at the same time doesn't, shake the whole console there. Also inside the app, you have ambient lighting settings. So currently I have mine set to dynamic color. And what this does is it basically pairs with your car's, lighting system. So if I've got it set to pink, for example, the ring will turn pink, green, it's going to turn green, so on and so forth. Very easy to do that. But the ring will also change color depending on what you're doing. So for example, if I want to change my heated or ventilated seats, I can push the heated or ventilated seat button for the left side. And if I twist to the right, the ring will turn red, indicating I'm turning the heat on. And then if I want to go to ventilated, I can turn it left and the ring will turn blue. So you still have that dynamic feature to it, but it's going to pair with your car's color ambient lighting, which is great. You can also turn ambient lighting off if you want to, or you can set a completely custom color. So if you really like yellow, you want the ring to be yellow all the time, regardless of what color your ambient lighting is in your car, you can do that as well. Completely up to you, but really nice customization there, and I love how it pairs perfectly with the color that your car has on the light strip. All right, so let's talk about some of these settings that I'm using currently on the Sexy knob. Now, the best part about this is there are so many different options that you can change it anytime you want, even in the middle of a drive if you want to. So if you find that you're not using one of the options that you have set and you want to switch it real quick, hop in the app. You can do it nice and seamless. You don't have to reset everything. It's great, completely customizable. Another really cool update just overall for the Enhance Auto products is they now have access to the Tesla API. So they can actually pull information from the screen and kind of share it back and forth. So previously you weren't able to sometimes see on the screen reflected what you're doing with the buttons or with the phone app or anything like that. That's changed. But let's talk about what I've got on my Sexy knob right now. So first and foremost, here on the main page, I've got fan speed on my left top button. I've got climate control on and off on the top right button. And then I have my heated and ventilated seats for driver and passenger on the, appropriate sides there. So this makes it really easy. If my wife wants to adjust her seating temperature, she can do that very easily. The screen is perfectly fine. Personally, I don't mind using the screen at all, but I understand there's people out there that prefer something that's tactile, that they don't have to reach up and touch. I get that. It's fine. And the Sexy knob is great for those people. And I like when people ride in my car for them not to feel like they're frustrated by having to use the screen if they're not familiar with it. So totally fine by me, but this makes it really easy. You can just push the button here and then twist the knob depending on if you want heat or you want ventilation on that seat. And then I can do the same on mine for the driver. And then like I said, I've got fan speed on the top left, so I can just push that and twist to turn the fan speed up or down. Again, I'm very accustomed to doing this with the screen, so it doesn't really bother me, but it is nice to have this quick access, especially if someone is not used to using the screen. This makes it really simple for them. I also put the power on for the climate control here on the top right, so I can just press that, turn the climate on and off, nice and easy. And then I can go back, go to my next page. This is kind of like my multi-function page, kind of. So I've got the top left button to set my regen strength. I prefer to drive with my regen strength all the way up. But again, if someone's driving in my car and they don't like regen braking, you can push this. You can twist it from 25%, 50%, 75%, or off altogether. Then I've got my autopilot button down here at the bottom left. The bottom left is the most accessible one for the driver, so I just keep that there. I've got my acceleration mode here at the top. So I've got chill and sport. I actually have chill and standard in my car, but if you have something like the Model 3 Performance, you're gonna have multiple modes there. You're gonna have 3 modes instead of 2. And then I've got a button here at the bottom right, which is going to open my glove box. Now, this is great. I like this, although it overrides the glove box pin code. So if you have that, it's not gonna work. Then in the center button, I have my preconditioning. So this will allow me to precondition my battery, nice and simple. So if you're getting ready to head out to a charging station, you don't want to put it in the GPS, but you want your battery to precondition for when you get to that charging station, you can do that right there, which is great. Now for my last page, again, this is a little bit of a hodgepodge, but the center button press is actually a gear shift. Enhance Auto is working on stocks for the updated Model 3. They've shown off some teaser videos of those, and I will definitely be getting my hands on those to review them when they are available. But in the meantime, if you don't like swiping on the screen or using auto shift, you can actually set the knob to be a gear shift. So if you have your foot on the brake and I push down here, I can twist to the right for reverse. everything's gonna, adjust. I can twist back to go back into park, and then I can twist to the right to go into drive. So super cool. It's basically just a gear shift in the middle of the console, which is awesome, especially if you prefer a tactile kind of gear shift on your Tesla. The top left button I've got set to be my wiper controls, so I can switch from auto to 1, 2, 3, 4 on my wipers, which is great. I usually leave them on auto, but you can also turn them off here. Then I've got my dome lights here. I can turn those on and off just by pressing this button, which again, really helpful, so you don't have to reach up and hit both buttons. You can just quickly tap one button and turn them on, which I love. Now they're staying on because my door is open, and then on the top right, I've got volume, so I can turn that way up or turn that way down. And then finally, I've got my mirrors to fold in. And again, like I mentioned, since the Tesla API is now working with the sexy knob and the sexy buttons, numbers and things can reflect on the display. So if I go ahead and push here and I turn my cabin temperature up a little bit, you'll see in just a second that it's going to reflect here on the screen. Same with something like the heated seats here. So if I go ahead and turn my heated seats or ventilated seats on, whichever way, boom, updates on the screen. This is working over Bluetooth, but I think the response time is pretty snappy. A few other things they added to this edition of the button that they didn't have previously are these little grooves on the buttons themselves, just to help differentiate them a little bit. And then this kind of plastic divider piece here in the middle, so that you can really feel which button you're pressing without having to look down at all. It adds that tactile feedback, which some people really prefer in a vehicle, especially something like this that has no buttons hardly anywhere, and it makes it so you don't have to look at any screens. You can keep your eyes on the road and see kind of where I'm pushing, and I can see, I want to turn my climate control off. Okay, I can feel that I'm on the top right button. Just click that and it's off. Just like that, without having to look at the screen, or using voice commands, which is always an option. And again, I just mentioned a handful of the customizations that I'm using regularly with this sexy knob. You can do all kinds of different stuff. I'd love to hear down in the comments what you guys use your sexy buttons for, or the updated knob here for the refreshed Model 3. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Again, if you want to pick up a sexy knob for yourself, I'll have a link in the description, and you can use my code Metz Tech for 10% off. Again, huge shout out to Enhance Auto for sending it to me. And if you guys don't want to miss all of my future Tesla content, definitely hit subscribe so you don't miss every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.